Hi everybody, it's me, Lisa the Love Coach here, and I'm so psyched to be with you. Tonight I am going to talk to you about Miss Mary. Miss Mary is in her 60s and she has a son who's in high school, and she hasn't dated in a really long time because she was married to a guy with bipolar disorder and became this super codependent caretaker type who basically put her own well-being, her own needs aside. And when this bipolar guy became abusive, she turned her attention from bipolar husband onto protecting her son. So where was Mary in the mix, right? Mary forgot about Mary, right? So now Mary sees herself in her 60s with her boy, her beautiful baby boy, now almost a grown man, ready to go to college, ready to do his thing. And Miss Mary's like, what does Miss Mary do for Miss Mary? So I am going to share with you what Miss Mary reached out to me with. Bless her heart. I do believe there are people out there who can learn from Miss Mary. This is why I'm only saying the name Miss Mary. Could be a million different names. But I'm going to share her story, her situation, so that hopefully people out there can learn from it, and also the things that I say in response to what she was asking me about. So let's dive on in. So, and this is also, let me tell you, over at lovequestcoaching.com, this is the type of assessments that I do for people. So if you head on over to lovequestcoaching.com, you can fill out an assessment and you will get a specific one-on-one, right to your email, answers to your questions, things that will hopefully bring you clarity, specific questions that you have that I just see, review, and I give you your feedback specifically for you. So I'm just going to give you an example of what I did for Miss Mary. So if you want to get in on this action, it is completely for free. You can do it too. Again, lovequestcoaching.com, my website. Button there, Love Life Assessment. You press it, a bunch of questions come and you answer them, and then I come back with answers for you. So let's dig into the juicy Miss Mary, shall we? Okay, Miss Mary says, honey, there's nothing going on with my love life currently. I've been divorced for 10 years. I've been raising my son and I've only dated briefly, and he was the wrong person for me. The patterns that Miss Mary sees in her love life, anything that happens over and over, she says that she attracts people who needs her. They need her, needy people, rather than partners. Mary's questions with regards to her love life include, how do I attract a partner who gets me? And is this even the right time to consider dating? Two very valid questions. And I asked Miss Mary, how would you describe your ideal relationship? And she says, a partnership. She's all about partnership, where we bring out the best in each other. And he's supportive of my son, she says. She wants somebody who's obviously supportive of her son. Now, what I find interesting in this comment is that Miss Mary indicated that her son, and I'll get into this a little more deeper in a bit, is older. So he's already 16, 17, probably getting him out of high school and into college is her thing. So I find it very interesting that she would require a man who is supportive of her son. This leads to an intuitive hit that tells me that there's codependency here. Miss Mary is very, very hyper involved with first the ex-husband and then the baby boy that she had to protect from abusive ex-bipolar husband. She created a dynamic. I'm going there on a limb and thinking this because I feel it from what she shared with me, and I'm intuitive that way, that she probably put her attention whoosh onto the husband, boom onto the son, and now son is ready to fly the coop, and she doesn't know what she's like, I don't know. I cared for this man, and then I cared for this boy, and now the boy is getting ready to leave. I don't know what to do. I need something else. So what Mary needs to do is now to look at Mary. What does Mary want from Mary? right? Her whole life she's been looking out for a man who was abusive head mess, bipolar, and then protecting her boy from bipolar head mess, So it's probably a thing where now Miss Mary is like, okay, well, now what do I do for me? And that can be a very daunting thing to look at when, for so long in your life, you never really looked at other people. At yourself, because you were too busy in the minutia and the management of other people. So, Miss Mary wants a man who is also emotionally and financially secure. Don't we all, honey? Don't we all? And the best way to attract that is to become it. I always say, that which you want in another, we must strive to become ourselves. That's law of attraction, law of vibration. If you are vibing on a certain level, you are going to attract exactly where you're at. So super important to understand the universal laws of various ones. Particularly, I'm a fan of the law of vibration, law of attraction, law of polarity, relativity. There are a few that I kind of go into when I'm coaching with people. So I asked her in the assessment, which you can take for free at lovequestcoaching.com. I asked her, what do you think keeps you from having your optimal romantic partnership? And she says, I felt like I needed to save the world. So I kept attracting guys who wanted to be rescued. Are you a rescuer? Do you feel like you have to save the world? Do you feel like all the broken little birdies with their little wings, help me fly, that they just kind of bop over to you, help me? And therefore you're going to attract people who are like weaker, So it's important to get a handle on this rescue-itis, this save the world-itis that people have. It's a problem, gets in the way of stuff. And I asked her, again, another question that comes up that you can answer. lovequestcoaching.com, free assessment. How long was your longest relationship? I'm so nosy. But it's good because I get good information and I can give a good assessment back. How long was your longest relationship and what did it teach you? And if you're in your longest relationship presently, what has it taught you so far? She says that her longest relationship was with her ex-husband. She explains he had bipolar disorder, and by the time they divorced, she was not only a caregiver, but he had become abusive. So imagine that, poor Miss Mary. She's super codependent. She's with this guy. He's abusing her. He's a total bipolar and whatever, the manic and all that happens with that type of arrangement. And this poor lady is taking care of this man, dealing with his every whim and mood, and being abused at the same time, while trying to also protect her baby boy. Maddening, crazy. So she ended up divorcing, and she says the lesson in this, which is good for Miss Mary, she has a lesson, that it taught her to take care of herself. She says, it taught me how to take care of myself and put me and my child first, and to be very cautious about any future relationships. Honey, do you think? Holy moly, trauma and drama. The D and the T, the drama and the trauma, the trauma and the drama. They go together, and Miss Mary had a lot of it. So when you're dealing with mental illness, a partner that suffers from that, very tricky stuff. You end up becoming very traumatized yourself, and it's a very volatile, erratic type of relationship. So she's very scared of future relationships, yet she's trying to dip her toe into maybe, possibly, I don't know, dating again. So Miss Mary's going to get with me. We're going to sort some stuff out for Miss Mary so that she goes out into the dating marketplace secure and solid and confident. Because right now she's like, oh no, I kind of want to date, but I haven't done it in a while, and I don't know what to do. Which is normal, super normal, especially when you've lived your life like Miss Mary, where other people and their whole dramas came before your life. So I asked her, what are your personal goals? Aside from your love life, what do you want to improve in your own life? What do you want to do for you? The best assessment. You got to go take it. It's free. Go do it. She says, I want to get my businesses up and running smoothly, and I want to get my son out of high school and into college. Now, this is another thing that I notice in a generation of people in their 50s and 60s, maybe a little in their 40s too, my age, where I don't get what this is. I did not have children, but I did have parents. I don't understand what it is about the hyper parenting. You are clipping the wings of your children and you're not raising them to be empowered and self-reliant. You are raising kids who have arrested development because you are not empowering them from when they're little to clean up their messes, to get their homework done. What does this woman have to do to get her son out of high school and into college? Don't you think by the time you're 17 years old, you kind of have the lock on how to study, how to be responsible? What I think about when I was 17, 16 years old, my mother and my father would never, ever have to ever utter the words, I have to get this kid out of high school and into college. I was handling my own studies, my own after-school activities, my own SAT study group classes. I think my parents had to maybe drive me somewhere a couple of times to do these tests and things. But I was on it. They raised me that way, right? So this codependent parenting style is raising a nation of brats who are reliant on their parents for everything. They can't even think for themselves. And as we see in our country right now, the effects of that parenting makes kids very, very susceptible for indoctrination. Meaning, if you don't teach your kids what they're to stand for, and I'm talking by the time they're 10, 12 years old, this is the way the house runs. This is how me, Queen Mom, runs shit here. And honey, you don't like it, 18, you go to college and you go live your life. But I'm going to teach you how to be an independent, self-reliant human being in the world who can think for his or herself. Because if I send you off to college and you're still looking for mommy to wipe your ass and mommy's not there, you're going to look for the professor. Hi, can you wipe my ass for me and tell me how to think? Hi, guidance counselor, can you tell me how to think? Hi, Antifa, cool guy with the black outfit and the hoodie. Can you tell me how to think? Hi, guy who makes crystal meth to make money in college and sells it to all the people. Can you tell me how to think? Do you follow what I'm saying? You want to power up your kids. If you have little kids in your house and they're preschool up to junior high, get on that self-reliant tip. Get on it. I was actually asked, crazy, I'm child free and people want me to do talks and things for parenting. I'm like, what? Why? And they said, you have such a fresh perspective because you didn't buy into the whole parenting thing, yet you were parented. I'm like, true, this is true. I had parents. I had 4 parents, real, biological, and step parents. So, honey, when it comes to navigating the stepmom and the families and this and that, oh my God, I come at it from the perspective of both the parents and the kids and the step parents. I can handle everybody. So I was invited to participate, and I believe we're taping it next week. I have to get on the calendar for it. But anyway, this woman saw me on a summit and she invited me to participate on her summit, which is teaching kids, parents of kids, how not to raise codependent, needy kids who don't think for themselves. Kids who can go to college and be like, dude, hi, asshole with a hoodie trying to get me to go to some meeting to talk about how we're going to blow up shit. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'm going to a softball game, intramural, guys and girls playing softball. It's going to be fun. So anyway, back to Miss Mary. So, what do I tell Miss Mary, beautiful Miss Mary, 62, look at you, sexy girl, get it going, love, never too late for love. All these people, oh, Too old for that. I'm not going to date. I'm too old for that. Bunch of bullshit. Honey, as long as you have a heart beating in your chest, you can love. You have energy to give. Love. Okay, so, hello, Miss Mary, I say. I received and reviewed your assessment form. I am so happy that you were inspired to reach out to me, do the assessment following hearing my interview on the Six Figure Souls Summit. Based on what you provided to me, so nice, she was very thorough, here's some feedback and a next step that you can take if you would like to go even deeper. So, I say to her that she's mentioned that she's been divorced for 10 years, focused mainly on raising your son, and was in a relationship. However, it wasn't a fit. And, Miss Mary, you were attracting men who needed you. Needy. As opposed to men who are perhaps more alpha. Men who could take the lead, be a provider, handle the house, handle the responsibilities alongside you. Not that you're mothering them, but like a man who's truly a partner. Could build something with somebody like that. Very sexy. Not sure if you've been dating Miss Mary, or maybe you put it on hold, I don't know. But here's what I can tell you based on your questions to me. First, she asked, how can I attract a partner who gets me? So if you ever ask that question, how do I attract a partner who gets me? I say to Miss Mary, look, since a lot of the work that I do is rooted in universal laws and understanding universal laws, mainly law of vibration, law of attraction, I suggest two things. Number one, get very, very clear about what you want for your life now and in the very near future. And then based on that, determine exactly the kind of partner that you want. Who is this man? Who is this guy? And in my coaching, we have the fun task of getting all those juicy details of who your ideal person is on paper, out of your head, out of the infinite of the nothingness, and on paper so we can manifest and we can get this person in your life, out of the ether, in, through, and there in life. Amazing. So once you do this, then we want to address the thing about looking for someone who gets you. So just understand that your ideal person will get you. They'll just get you. Conversation will flow. You'll feel understood. And sure, you're going to still have to communicate your needs, wants, have healthy boundaries, set the pace in the relationship in a very assertive yet graceful, feminine, inspired way. And she says, is this the time to consider dating? So I say this, Miss Mary, my love, only you can answer this, right? But for anybody out there who's watching this and they're wondering, is now even the time to start dating? Like, I've been divorced for quite some time, or I've been out of this relationship for long enough. Is now the time for dating? So there's a reason that you're asking this question. This is what I say to Miss Mary. You're asking this question for a reason, and I'll ask you this. Would you date you right now? If you stepped outside and just looked at yourself, the life that you're living right now, and all the stuff that's going on in it, and how you're approaching yourself and the world, would you date you? Would your ideal person date you based on where you are in your life right now and how you're rolling and how you're caring for yourself and how you're operating in your home, how your children are, how every piece of your life, granted, look, you don't have to strive. I mean, look, we strive for perfection in our definition of what perfection is: happiness, joyous, peaceful, feeling secure, confident, happy, just genuinely like, yeah, I'm running shit. This is good. I feel good in my life. I love it. And when you feel that, that's when you go out in the world and you run an errand and boom, you meet somebody. So I like to encourage people to ask, look at what your life is like presently and get very honest and very courageous in that you're going to look at it and you're going to be like, wow, I have some things that I want to handle for myself. And as you do that, in that spirit of betterment for yourself, whether you hire me as a coach or find some book or whatever, you're taking the effort and the actions necessary to create an energy where you can receive somebody amazing. Anybody that's looking to better themselves and then takes an action, a bold action, and invests. Oh, honey, you just told the universe you're open shop. You're ready for love. You're ready to be better. You're ready to attract great things in your life. So I also ask people when they're considering dating again, what do you have to offer at this point in your life? So like, think of it. You're going to the table. What are you bringing to this other individual? A lot of people focus on the get. They're always like, I want a person that's this, and I want this, and I want that, and I want trips and vacations and presents and this and la and boom. And they're not thinking about, okay, but like, who do I need to be? What do I have to give in order to get what it is that I want? That's where things get a little interesting, right? Because that's when people get very honest with themselves. So I often encourage people through the work that I do to do that deeper dive on themselves. Because the thing is, look, the better that we are within ourselves, the better we attract. And there are a lot of people out there who are attracting highly narcissistic people, toxic people, this beautiful lady, years and years and years of a marriage with somebody who had bipolar disorder. Granted, mental illness is a thing, but, you have to be really, really careful and judicious about who you're giving access to in your life. And we are who we attract. We attract who we believe we are worthy of, right? I have another client, bless her heart, lovely, lovely lady. And she was in this funk where she was attracting, we're talking beautiful grown-ass woman, mother, whole deal. She's attracting these men, super narcissistic, sending dick pics. Ridiculous. And since working with me, her entire energy shifted. She really poured her attention onto herself, managing and navigating all of these different relationships that she noticed she had to boundary up on, learn how to communicate from a position of strength. I call her the queen, right? I say you got to be the queen, right? And she learned how to do this. She's doing wonderfully with the coaching. And she's seeing how the men that she's now starting to attract, people that she probably wouldn't even have looked their direction and they wouldn't have looked at her because of the energy she was exuding. The energy from before was, send me a dick pic. The energy of now is, no, this is a queen. This is a lady who is a lady. Mm-hmm. And there's a way that you approach a lady like that. So she sees in how men are approaching her and conversing with her that it's a very different game now. So why? Because she put that effort. She put the energy. She put the financial investment into bettering herself. So whenever you do that bold move, rest assured, all kinds of blessings will happen. So, Miss Mary, if, however, there are things that you discover that you really want to work on and sort out in your life, now is the opportunity to dig into that so that then the space can be created for that great guy to slide on into your life. And I help people with all of this, right? I help people with all of this. You have a really great opportunity, Miss Mary, to explore the whole save the world mission that you're living your life with. And so, that energy of save the world energy implies that people are messed up and that you have to control the chaos in order to have peace. So a lot of people out there who are the fixers and the rescuers, your view of the world is that everybody's messed up, everybody needs saving, everybody's a hot mess, and I am here to save the day. And that's not what it's about, lovelies. No, this is how you become codependent and depleted, right? Instead, what I would love to see Miss Mary do is, and I can help her do this, is I would love to support her in shifting the paradigm of her life to living joyously, leading by example, living your best life, so then that others, instead of saying, I need you, fix me, help me, meh, instead they say, wow, man, that lady's inspiring. I want to get around her. I want to learn from her. I want to do like her. I want to step up and like apply the wisdom that this Mary chick can give me, because wow. And think about the kind of men, right? She's not going to attract the save the world thing. What are you going to get? I tell her what you're going to get. Trying to save people is a sign of codependency. And yes, it attracts weak people, hot mess, who need saving. And those people are typically, and I'm going to say it strong and straight, when you are trying to save the world, who do you think you're going to attract? Broke ass people, emotionally vapid, immature emotionally, unavailable, takers. They're going to take. And when you're done, squeeze the rag for yet a little bit more. And they'll take even more. And you will be depleted and you will feel like a doormat. No good. So I ask Miss Mary, why the need to be needed? What's up with the save the world-itis? Need to handle it. So people say, Lisa, you're a hypocrite because you're a coach. Isn't that trying to save the world? It is trying to remind people of their true greatness. So I don't approach coaching as I'm here to save the world and like I know shit and no. I've been through some stuff. I have some wisdom, but I believe that everybody inside, when connected, and that's what I help people do, plug on into the truth inside. That's your guidance. People are like, oh, help me. I'm like, honey, I'm going to help you to help yourself. That's how I coach, because you're not going to have me around for your whole life. I mean, you can, it's expensive, but you're not. You're going to hang with me for 90 days, maybe 60, maybe 45, depends on what program, maybe 6 months. And you're going to learn the tools, how to connect, so that when Lisa isn't around, you got this. You got it. You had it the whole time, honey. I just had to help you get like from all of this to this, aligned, knowing yourself, deep intuition, knowing where you're going in life, knowing the path to it, knowing the things that trip you up, the blind spots, and the tools to use so that when you find yourself in this wobbly place, you're like, wait a second, I know what I can do. Lisa taught me this thing. I'm going to go and I'm going to do it in my notebook. I'm going to figure it out. And you do. And then you have a breakthrough and you're like, oh my God, I'm in control of my life. Amazing. So I asked Miss Mary just to give her a little taste of the kind of conversation that we would have if she chooses to take advantage of a 90-minute one-on-one. I said, Miss Mary, who taught you how to save others? There's a version of you who operates from this stance. What if you can heal this version of you who's intent on saving the world? You know, like all the superstar action comic book figures, they all have a trauma that inspires them to save the world, right? So like, what was her trauma? I am certain, Miss Mary, that when you save that version of you who believes that they need to wrangle in the chaos in others in order to feel safe in the world, I do believe that your life will shift massively. Wouldn't it be cool, Miss Mary? To all the Miss Marys out there, wouldn't that be so cool if you're like a total fixer-upper person and you just learned how to address that part of you, that wounded part of you who has to fix everybody else? What's that about? If you could figure out how to fix that within you and free it, then you don't have to live your life looking for the danger zone. You can just be like, oh, life is good. And I attract people who are happy, whole, healthy, thriving, right? You're not going to attract broken ass people anymore because you're not trying to fix everybody. Your ex-husband, Miss Mary, my love, was bipolar. So that right there made you codependent. And then the abuse was also traumatic. And when traumatized, we go into protective mode. Given what you went through, my love, it makes perfect sense that you would avoid men out of fear of being abused again, of course. But once you heal this wounded version of yourself and the younger one who attracted the abuser kookadookoo in the head in the first place, Your life will absolutely transform. I know it. I've seen it. It's amazing. And it doesn't have to take a whole lot of time. I know a lot of people are like, I've been in therapy for 10 years. Honey, no, it's not working. Therapy, 10 years? Honey, 90 days. Chop, chop, get your tools, get your life on point. You're here, you want to be here, close the gap in between. Therapy, they'll have you sitting on their couch indefinitely, talking about things all the time, analysis. But you get paralyzed, you get stuck, right? Talking over and over. This is what happened when I was 6. This is what it means. Great, amazing that you have that clarity. But where are you going with that information? Where do you go with that next? And that's the difference between a therapist and a coach. I love both. I've worked with both. They're amazing. I have had both, coaches, therapists, but they're very different. And I think now is a great time for people who have had therapy, have clarity about all their stuff, all their, past traumas, to explore coaching, because now that we have this clarity about, like Miss Mary, there's a version of her attracted a bipolar guy who she gave all her all to, became a caretaker to, very codependent. There's a part of her that she can heal and that she can understand and take to another level, take to another direction. She doesn't have to carry this version around still wounded. She can sort it out, help herself, and then transform it and move on. Amazing, because I want to see Miss Mary, honey, 62 years old. This lady could be in love. Let's see. 62, honey, by 65, she's got a man already, married in the Caribbean on the beach. The son walks her down the aisle, like the whole thing. I have it in my head. I'm going Turks and Caicos. I'm like, Miss Mary, I put you on already a plane. You're in Turks and Caicos, getting married to this beautiful man. And your coach, I'm going to go. Just invited myself. This lady is great. So anyway, I say to her, Miss Mary, you're a mom who turned her attention from the abusive husband onto protection of your own son. Your son now is a young man, rapidly entering manhood as he goes off to college. Well done. And this is a time to ease up on the mothering and turn the focus finally onto yourself and what you want for yourself. You have permission if that's what she was looking for. Sometimes people want the permission where you say it's okay that you focus on you. It's okay. Your son loves you and he knows that he's loved. And you don't have to fix everybody and rescue everybody. He's good. You did a good job. So holding space for yourself, very important to learn how to do that. Helps you get clear on stuff that you want for yourself and allows the space for the answers, the intuition, the little inspired thoughts of how to get there to flow in. Right? So I explained to Miss Mary that I'd love to work with her and I'd love to work with you guys. So if you're digging Miss Mary's story and you're like, wow, I want to do this assessment, you can go over to lovequestcoaching.com. Step 1, you fill out the assessment. And if you want to just skip all of that and you just want to get with me directly, and you can just send me a PM, a private message. You can connect with me at lovequestcoaching.com if you're watching this on YouTube. And we can get started on even a 1 hour one-on-one. We can do a 90-minute deeper dive one-on-one. I'm offering a juicy one now. This is what I presented to Miss Mary. A 90-minute one-on-one consultation that I do either via Skype or WhatsApp or right here on Facebook Messenger. And I love getting into it with the 90 minutes because it gives people more time to explain their own point of view, their own situation that they're in. And I get all the juicy details. And then we start digging in and we start looking at every different aspect of it. And you come away with great tools, clarity, an idea of where you're going next. And then after that, if you really like it and you feel like coaching longer and there are programs and things that I offer, we can explore that. But no pressure. Definitely head on over and take advantage of the free stuff, honey. I have at LoveQuest Coaching a free love life assessment. I also have free downloadable audio guides that you can help yourself to. And I have a very juicy blog that you can check out as well. So that's that. I wish Miss Mary greatness with her life and her son and everything else. We're going to put that out to the universe. Miss Mary, my girl, I love you and I didn't even meet you yet. So hopefully She will read this assessment and, we'll get together and we'll see what we can do with Miss Mary. So for all the Miss Marys out there, you're trying to fix people. Start with fixing you, tending to you. And from there, I promise you, all the shifts will happen and you will find a great person to love up on you as much as you want to love up on them. All right, I am Lisa, the Love Coach. Much love to you guys and girls, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.